father told me what to do. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna let my kids do whatever they want.
I
They'll
feel
turn out
like
fine.
there's too many people our age who are parents that are trying to be buddies with their kids rather than be parents.
And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast. Common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but neither they're sport. So let's try and learn something together today. The website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag @dadmode, and I'll find it. Joining me is Uncle Nick, the guy who is the charter member of the Tara Carlson fan club.
Yeah, that's exactly what I am.
At Nickerson on the Twitter machine. Hey, how's it going, Dad?
Going good. Getting hot.
Now, is that because I made you turn off your air conditioner because it picked up on the microphone?
Yes, could be one of many reasons.
One of the St. Paul heat waves. But, all right, so let's try and jam out with our wham out. But, so first one is setting examples for our kids is the topic du jour today. That sounds good. I'll have that. And I feel like there are so many examples of parents who subscribe to the do as I say, not as I do mentality. And I feel like that's always doomed to fail. You know what I mean, Nick?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just sloppy, easy parenting people try to do, and not realize all the lessons you should learn from it.
See, I saw some of that, though, when I was growing up, because, I was always told to eat my vegetables, but that worked out because I actually, freaking love vegetables. But then my dad would be eating a bag of Cheetos and, drinking, a couple of beers, and, that was his thing. And it was just like, oh, all right. But to the extreme would be like parents who smoke. And I can understand them telling the kid not to smoke because of the expense and the health implications and yada yada. But then you probably shouldn't be smoking a carton of Newports a day, and right in the kitchen when the kid's like watching Dora the Explorer out in the living room.
It's that you could argue that that's what the parents don't want you to fall around the same mistakes they are. Like, obviously, the parents have to strongly admit that, hey, I'm smoking because it's an addiction I picked up when I was younger. Please, you don't follow my bad examples.
Smoke.
Could be one of the...
Smoke.
I mean, that's one specific example of that whole, parenting setting examples,
Are you smoking yet? And, yeah, except that's understandable. Except why smoke in front of the kid? Because the kid's going to learn those type of habits, and so this is kind of funny. And so we know this couple, and they're big smokers, smoke in the house with the kids. And then when the kids, develop asthma in 8 years, they'll be like, damn you, Obama. Damn you.
Trying to blame someone else.
Yeah, but, all right, so the wife saw, like, the little daughter who's probably about 2 years old. And she was just by herself, and there was a pack of cigarettes. And she takes the cigarette out of the pack and then does the, hold in between the index and middle finger, lift to the mouth and lift and take away thing. So she's obviously emulating the actions of the parents.
Monkey see, monkey do. Children see, children do.
Yeah, and see, I'm not the type of person who says, well, we should ban candy cigarettes. Well, one, because candy cigarettes are awesome. But number two is they learn way more from the parents than they would, like a couple of kids dicking around with a packet of candy cigarettes. So the fact that these parents just smoke indoors in front of the kids, and that just sets the kids, especially young infants, up for just long-term health problems, and they don't even have to smoke. I mean, secondhand smoke at a young age is like a legit thing. Not so much when you're older, but when you're younger, for sure. And even infants, that could increase the rate for SIDS, and, well, that's terrible.
So are you saying don't bring your kids to a casino?
Well, just go to the non-smoking section of the casino, which is just wide open to the smoking section. It just smells a little less smoky.
The smoke will never go over there.
And plus, it's funny because it used to be all smoking, so it's all ingrained in like the carpet and the chairs and stuff and the felt. So it's like cool, awesome. But all right, so the smoking bothers me, and like the whole eating of the vegetables thing is probably near and dear to my heart because the wife and I were gonna want to set a good example for Muggsy because of the whole childhood obesity epidemic and blah, blah, blah. But it really just starts at home. And if people just focused on their kids rather than looking to the government and Michelle Obama to try and fix everything, I mean, that would be a big part of it. But, you raise your kids. And you know what? You know what's cheap? You know what's cheaper than McDonald's and KFC and all this other junk? You get some frozen vegetables. Or you get some fresh produce. From the grocery store or the farmer's market or whatever. And yes, you can hit me with this whole, the food deserts junk. And yes, that is a real thing. But, if you just learn how to cook with whole ingredients, and it doesn't cost a lot. It's actually way cheaper,
Yeah, but that doesn't come with any cool toys or anything. How am I going to get my toy?
I'll give you a toy in the shape of my fist. But that's something that the wife has really tried to do because she didn't used to like broccoli. Now it's her favorite vegetable. She didn't used to like kale, and now it's her favorite thing because we do it in a way that's it's not like the hippy dippy everything's got to be raw or juiced or type of thing. But you can saute it, olive oil, salt and pepper, garlic powder. It's delicious. And see, that's the thing that we wanted to really get her going when Muggsy was in the womb, and now that she's on breast milk because she'll develop a taste for all that stuff. And it's like the parents who live on fast food. Like I know someone who has never eaten spinach in their life, and we actually tried to get them to eat a piece of spinach, and they literally like threw up. Like they couldn't even hold it in their mouth. It was hilarious. But then how do you think that their kids or future kids are going to be reacting to vegetables if mommy or daddy like dry heaves whenever a little piece of spinach is in their mouth?
I think that's what, I think a lot of parents are counting on, that's what teachers are for. That's what their daycare providers are for.
That's what Michelle Obama's for. She works out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as if you expect your kids to eat your vegetables, but then you're not eating anything green and you're eating everything fried. I mean, what are they supposed to process? Be like, well, mommy and daddy are adults and don't have to eat their vegetables, so I'm an adult. Screw vegetables. Screw that. And it provides almost like a negative connotation to the vegetables because they're forced to eat them, so they see it as punishment. Whereas if mommy and daddy are incorporating vegetables and foods that you like, it's really not hard to hide, like some chopped up broccoli, kale, spinach, and macaroni and cheese, and then it's just part of the meal. And then the kid just grows up thinking, oh, that's mac and cheese. And he gets all the benefits of the vegetables.
Yeah, you're judging a lot on the fact that the kids are. Kids can be pretty picky. I was a very picky eater as a kid. I knew they tried.
Were you the youngest kid?
I was. Yeah.
You know what you should have gotten?
What?
A boot in the face.
Yeah, no, I was a spoiled little brat, and my parents should have.
Nick, you know what? If you don't eat the vegetables, I guess you don't get dessert, or I guess you go hungry. I guess you stab. And there's no Jimmy John's back then.
No Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
All right. And also goes to the example of so younger parents now coming up, and the whole gamer dad is an actual thing, even though that's complete bullshit. And so if you're playing video games 18 hours a day, and then your kid is, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you're saying, hey, put down that tablet and put down that game and maybe shoot some studying. And then you just go back to your Call of Duty. Nah.
I think it's like those younger parents, they're I think they're trying to prove themselves oh yeah, I'm not gonna grow up the way I did. I'm having a strict father who told me what to do. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna let my kids do whatever they want.
I feel like there's too many people our age who are parents that are trying to be buddies with their kids rather than be parents.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
And that's what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with a buddy, a drinking buddy. Yeah, a buddy who's going to crash in your basement until they're 30. Buddy. Come on, buddy. Instead of like an actual well-adapted, independent kid who can think for themselves. You're just going to have a drinking buddy. Cool.
I kind of think that's what most modern parents want now, though.
And I do like what you said about the whole, well, my parents were overly strict, and I'm never going to be like that, except, you know what? It worked to a degree. I mean, if they really stood back and looked at their life and, so I'm a homeowner at 25. I have disposable income independently where I can go out and buy like a $300 Xbox or PlayStation 1. What are they on now?
4.
PlayStation 4. Oh,
Yeah.
It's Xbox One. Okay.
Xbox One, play.
Yeah. Okay. So they're in a spot where they're a homeowner, they have the car paid off, they have all that, but hey, I didn't turn out to be anything because my parents were so strict and made me do things. But hey, you're set up in a nice job with a house now. But so apparently they did something right. So I want you to just lay off dear old dad for instilling some punishment and discipline to get you on the right track. And now your kid is going to be a spoiled, prissy little because you refuse to parent him, you refuse to set boundaries, you refuse to have standards for little Aiden, Jaden, or Caden, and then you're in a Portland, Maine diner, and then he screams his head off for 40 minutes. That's a callback.
Yeah. Even back to, you're not going to let the Aidens and Jadens, you're not going to let up, are you?
Because those names are soft. Soft. Now, so, Nick, what are a couple examples where you think that parents are really hypocrites in expecting behavior?
Well, we talked a little bit about smoking and everything, and
Smoke.
And like talk a little bit about my family. My family, my mom's side's a family of they like to drink and they like to party, and I've seen it in my uncles, and sure enough, my cousins are their father's sons. They can hold back their own pretty well, and they are 21 right now. So the cousins are. So it's like it's following it's like a mirror image. It's crazy.
Now, is this a spot where the parents don't want the kids to drink heavily?
I mean, to a point. I mean, like to a point. It's all about moderation. The parents, they believe having fun on weekends. They work hard during the week, and they believe you can relax, have a few beers here and there, go out with friends to a bar, bar hop, kind of, and like I think they kind of see that, like the kids are, my cousins are doing that just as well as them, if not more. But the cousins are taking a little overboard. I mean, young 21-year-olds, they're drinking to excess and to make blackout decisions. My aunt and uncles are a little more tamer than that, but it's I don't know. It's almost like a splitting mirror image, though.
So it would be kind of like a spot where the parents were like, "Hey, Junior, you do not drink, okay? I mean, you gotta watch yourself out there. You make some bad decisions. Excuse me, I take a shot of Goldschlager." Well.
I love my uncles to death, but I think they kind of instigate it, though. They're like, "Hey, you're a dummy. You can't drink as well as I can." And then the cousin's like, "Oh yeah," and then if I just. Then blackout drunk.
Well, is this your Filipino side or white side?
My white side.
Are they German or Irish?
Irish.
Okay.
That's what we call the pride of St. Paul, though. St. Paul family is they're pretty good drinkers here.
Oh, what does St. Paul have to do with Irish people?
I was
kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Hardworking blue collar families of St. Paul.
Yeah, St. Paul is probably a pretty nice suburb of Minneapolis.
its own city dead.
And clicks.
Oh, clicks. No.
Yep. Now, All right. So, was there anything that your parents did where they would tell you one thing and except do something completely else? Scratch tickets.
Okay, okay, no secret here. We're not keeping family secrets off this show. My dad was a compulsive gambler.
Was.
Okay, is. Shut up. No, he's gotten a lot better. Seriously, has. My dad weekends, our weekend gatherings. Because my dad never worked on weekends. Thankfully, the only time I got to really see him because my dad used to work nights. We would go to 4 or 5 of the nearest gas stations and buy scratch-off tickets. Hopefully we could win that big $5,000 winner, which will solve all our problems and make us filthy rich. I think the most we ever won was 50, maybe $80. Well, yeah, but that adds up. It's like $10, $15 a gas station. You go to 4 or 5 of them. I mean, that's $60, $70 a weekend,
Except did you actually take home the $80 or did you let it ride? Reinvest?
No, only dollar winnings. If it was a big one, then we cashed it.
Now you've been known to dabble in the white man's cocaine of the pull tabs, as it were.
Oh yeah.
Now, is it a spot where you really wish that your parents or your dad specifically had told you, "Hey, don't do that. It's a waste of money. You're better off throwing your money away and lighting it on fire."
Not since mine is not exactly an addiction. Mine is once a month I'll throw in $20, something that's not breaking my budget. If anything, obviously my biggest probably childhood problem was obviously overeating because I am a big guy, and family didn't exactly slow it down at all, mostly because I was a picky eater and my family just didn't want to put up with it. They'll just give me what I want, eating mostly rice to solve my food hungers. So, for setting examples, I mean, for them, I think it was about stepping up and like being the parent and keeping your kid in check,
Yeah.
It's I mean, my mom wasn't like a fit person, she was a heavier set person, it's hard I don't know if I want to judge that by like, oh, that's why I'm maybe a bigger person, it's I don't know. Wait's a different. Well, that's an off-topic issue. We'll stop at that. Let's move on to another like specific topic.
No, Nick, this is your therapy session. $80 an hour, better money spent than on pull tabs. Now there was a food documentary we watched on Netflix. I forget what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But was it the sugar? Was it the sugar thing? Like it might have been the sugar one. Yeah. But there was a family in there, Mexican family, and now there was a kid that was overweight, and the dad was pretty out of shape as well. Not like morbidly obese, but you could tell, definitely past his prime. And now the dad had such a piss poor attitude about the kid's weight. He'd make fun of the kid for being fat or slow or unmotivated, and then and then the dad comes home with like 6 McDonald's double cheeseburgers, downs the whole thing, drinks a 2-gallon thing of soda, and then just plays Madden all day.
Don't say soda.
Or pop, yeah. So the dad just completely setting a fantastic example for the kid and then derides the kid for following in his footsteps consciously or subconsciously, and yeah.
That's the worst. I'm sorry. I mean, isn't that like the term hypocritical when like you're saying something like, "Oh, you're so fat and lazy," when the guy himself is fat and lazy? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's counterproductive. I mean, he's not doing anything to help make good habits out of things. I mean,
yeah. And so if the dad was serious about getting the kid to lose weight, having him lead a better life for himself, then he should eat a little better. Maybe he should, him and the kid should go play some basketball or go on a walk or something. Set a better example rather than just being a complete asshole and then expecting better things from your kid who, consciously or subconsciously, looks up to you because you're his dad. Mm-hmm. You're the male role model in his life, and even if he doesn't specifically follow your lead, he will, because those are his traits.
Kids will always look up to their parents, for better or for worse.
Unless you're Yao Ming, because I think his parents are like 5'8".
Okay, genetics is a totally different. No.
But the whole smoking thing just bothers me. Just the thought of that 2-year-old kid just grabbing a cigarette, knowing exactly what to do with it. You know, that kid has no shot.
Okay, let's talk about positive influences. Let's make this a happier podcast. I mean, they're good. I mean, let's talk about parents that lead good examples. Do you have any?
Parents who eat well, exercise, get their kids out and play, so they don't see as outdoor time or exercise as punishment. They just see it as having fun. And this was an issue before video games came in. Now I love video games. I don't partake in them as much as I used to as a kid, but when Muggsy gets a little bit older, we'll get her outside more. I mean, we'll ride bikes, we'll play sports, and rather than teaching her how to play Grand Theft Auto 17.
17.
Yeah, I've never owned Grand Theft Auto, as weird as that sounds, or any of them.
Was this back in the day when you had Video Update where you could rent all the games? Or you just had a bunch of friends that had them?
No, just I don't think I played extended time at all.
Never played them either? Huh.
No, because I don't think it gets boring. Like I like the open world concept, except it doesn't get boring. So you rob and punch someone, and then the police chase you, and then you die. That's it. Grand Theft Auto. Print.
It's much like real life.
Rockstar Games. Yep. What are some other positive examples you can think of?
Oh God! I mean, I wanted to tease you when you were talking about the whole getting kids out there playing and exercising, doing sports and stuff. You're sounding like a soccer mom a little bit.
No. See, that's not soccer at all, because the mom is on the sidelines drinking her 3,000 calorie iced mocha frappuccino, and then probably sneaking in a little flask of wine. So that's not like the suburban soccer mom attitude. The suburban soccer mom attitude is like, hey, you better play little Aiden today, otherwise he's going to be sad and the world revolves around me. It doesn't matter that he hasn't shown up for practice and at the last game he punched the black kid. But other than that, my little Aiden is perfect.
The punch the black kid.
That is the suburban soccer mom attitude.
So I'm guessing the kid is white. Right.
Yeah, and plus the mom isn't getting out and like kicking the soccer ball around the kid. She'll just hire some sort of soccer tutor.
I'm thinking there are those soccer moms though that are pretty active into it though. I think there's like a sect.
Probably, and I wouldn't mind them as much. Mm-hmm. I'll respect anyone who coaches a youth team because it's not fun. Well, it is fun, but I feel like it takes up a lot of time. And you're supposed to say that it's extremely rewarding, except it isn't.
Oh, if your kids could hear you now.
Just think of the kids, man. Well, when Muggsy plays sports or does events or dance or whatever, I mean, if it's something that like basketball or track or t-ball, I'm sure I'll volunteer coach and be like, yay. Yeah.
You're not going to be out there with a tutu helping her with her ballet recital?
No, see, I'm going to cozy up to the suburban soccer moms and try and get a hit off her wine flask. Yeah, that's setting a good example for kids. And speaking of wine flasks, you can get one on, wow, where can you get one, Nick?
What's that website? What jungle is that? Is it Amazon?
Amazon. Top left corner of dadmodepod.com. Click on our Amazon link button, whatever. It'll take you to Amazon through our link and just bookmark it. Buy all of the Amazon stuff you're going to buy normally, and we'll get a little taste. Keep this whole production going because Nick ain't cheap. He ain't free.
True.
I pay him a white rice, which I also order from Amazon. So double, triple dip in there. Show's available on iTunes. Give us a rate, review, and a little comment. A little 5 stars. Be like, these guys are slightly racist. That's all.
Whoa, I'm not racist.
Oh, yes. Awful lot of honkies in here. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod or me at Andy Carlson Show. Nick is at Nickason Honky. Wait, Nickason _ Honky.
No, that is not true.
The website is dadmodepod.com. But we go, be a man, be a father, go dad mode. See you next time. Wine flask at the soccer game.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.